Do you believe in ghosts or do you just not like them?
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
I fucking believe. I've seen them.
Yeah, because we had a weird thing because we bought this house. So it's my first house. My husband bought it with Bitcoin. And so we live in this Bitcoin house and it's like 100 years old. It was the only place we could buy a house because it was the only place that they would take it. Like it's all cops and Foyt is my neighborhood. Not a Jew for miles. It's like if the 9/11 Memorial Gift Shop were a neighborhood, that's where I live. But they were like, it's the only place that they would take Bitcoin because there was like a bank there that would do it or whatever, you know. So we live in this like 200-year, I don't know, it was a really old house. And when we first came to the house, they had the Victorian outfits were laid on the ground, like when we went to go look at the house, and it was like a little baby's Victorian dress. It was disturbing.
Why?
A weird thing to leave out, right?
Yeah, that's a terrifying thing. That's like a voodoo thing.
Yeah, and they were kind of these Victorian nightgown, and I was like, wasn't that strange, you know? And then, and I just kept thinking about it, but then we got the house, and then later on, I don't know if I should be talking about this, but fuck it, I'm talking about it. But later on, so one day I was out doing a club, and I looked on the cameras in the backyard, and Pete was grilling in the backyard, and my daughter was playing next to him. And then it's a live feed, and next to her, I saw this little girl. I don't want to sound like insane, but I saw a little girl with long braids who was like really pale. And so I called Pete and I'm like, but I didn't see it like, oh, I saw a vision. I just saw it clear as day. So I called Pete. I was like, who's the little pale girl next to Frankie who's playing with Frankie? And he's like, there's nobody there. And I was like, what do you mean? There's a little girl there, you know? I see her. And then I went back in the footage later and I didn't see her. I wasn't high. I wasn't on anything. And then later on, when he was at the firehouse, I'd hear these really loud sounds at night. And the lady that owned the house told me, if you ever hear anything weird, call me, you know? So I called her and I was like, oh, I hear these loud sounds. And she was like, I was thinking you were going to call. It was like an old horror movie, you know? And she was like, my brother died on the way back to the house and he was hit by a car. And ever since then, he used to play with his dog in the kitchen and there would be loud banging sounds.